I will add to if anyone here is starving, you've just come from sports practice and you desperately need to eat, don't be ashamed. Go ahead and eat. We encourage you to do that. No problem at all. This is just a casual information session. So I am Dr. Wendy Fringer. I am the Director of Pre-College Programs, and I want to welcome all of you to this information session. This is a great opportunity for me to just congratulate all of you. I'm so proud of all of you for having been nominated to do this. It means something special that someone in your life thought enough of you to want to nominate you for this program. The Lott Leadership Institute for 12th graders has been around for a long time. It's really selective. It's got an amazing reputation nationally and internationally, actually. We've had international students in it as well. So it means that you're doing something right, that someone in your life thought of you when they had this opportunity to nominate someone. So congratulate yourself for getting this far, and keep doing what it is you're doing. Whether or not you end up coming to us next summer, I hope that you'll take the time to reflect on why it was that someone wanted to nominate you and really lean into that aspect of yourself that really shines. Now is the time to do it. You're about to go off to college in another year and well, another couple of years. And it's time to really start cultivating those aspects of yourself that you think are the best and the brightest. All right. So congratulate. I want to congratulate all of you. And we're going to talk tonight about a lot of different things. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Sometimes when you hear that you've been congratulated and you're thinking, wow, like I should know everything, right? We know you don't know everything. That's why we're having this info session. So don't be afraid. There's no wrong questions. Just the ones that you don't voice are the only ones that could possibly be wrong. So get comfortable, strap in. We're going to talk a lot tonight about what you can expect with the program, but especially we're going to talk in detail about the application process itself. So if any of you have already taken a look and you've seen some things that you had questions about, now is a great time to ask those questions. So with that, I will ask my colleague, Mr. Deloach, to advance the slides. First off, I'll say that this is a partner program. Pre-college programs is my office, but we work with the Lott Leadership Institute to do this program. And our office's job is really to do the enrollment and registrations, to make sure you have a place to live at night, that you get fed, that there's all kinds of cool things to do in the evenings and on the weekends. But the really super exciting stuff that I know draws people to this program every year is the academic content. And that is something that we're going to talk a little bit with you tonight about, because we know that that's going to be in part how you determine whether you want to do it or not, right? What are these classes? Tell us about this trip to DC. We're going to give you a little bit of information about that tonight. All right, next. So this is the pre-college team. You have me, I'm the director. Mr. Deloach is over enrollment management, and so he is the mastermind behind our application. He makes sure everything goes smoothly for you. He interfaces a lot with our admissions office, which is another piece of this. If you are taking these classes, you're getting college credit, which means you're a college student while you're with us. So he handles all of that. And Ms. Ari Lugo is on here tonight. She is going to be minding the chat, answering questions as they come in. And she really oversees the experiential portion that takes place in the evenings and on the weekends. She'll make sure that if your, room key isn't working and you can't get into the dorm, that gets fixed. So she takes care of all kinds of things that have to do with residential life, and you will hear from her on that. And Ms. Kathy Thompson is the wizard who will manage your application process. So if you are having trouble, you're uploading things and they won't go through, or you're just confused, Miss Kathy is super nice and she will walk you through and help you get all your problems solved. And so you will have a lot of contact with her, probably at the beginning of the program, and then you'll meet her when you get here too. So that's who we are. And then we have the Lott Institute. And these are the folks who, as I said before, are making the magic happen on the academic side. These are the folks who talk with our faculty, who arrange all kinds of speakers and amazing presentations, who can pull all kinds of magical strings in Washington, D.C. They are some folks that you're really going to enjoy getting to know, and they are here to answer your questions tonight. So with that, we will talk a little bit about the program itself. So this is sort of the outline, and here we go into the program. So we'll talk a little bit about academics, and I'll let the Lott Institute folks talk about that. Then we'll talk about residential life. That'll be Ms. Ari, and then we'll talk about the application process with Mr. Deloach. All right. So with that, Dr. Jones, would you like to speak about the academics?
Sure. Hey, I'm really excited to see all of y'all. Glad you're here. Glad you are doing the wonderful things you're doing to invest in your communities and your schools back home. All the hard work you've already put in are the reason why you've been nominated and we're sitting here having this conversation. So I'm really excited about that. So when you come to campus, you are with us for actually a total of 5 weeks. We are on campus for 4 weeks, and then we pack you up and we take you to DC for a week. So it is a very jam-packed schedule from the moment you arrive until the moment you go home. You can sleep when you get back home. Um, we spend really a lot of time doing a lot of pretty fantastic things. So initially, the academic coursework, you will get 7 hours of college credit within the 4 weeks that we are on campus. So you will be studying Political Science 101, which is the introduction to American politics. We have one of our phenomenal political science professors that will be working with you. And then you will have LIBA 199, and that is a class that I co-teach with our partner from the Center for Practical Ethics. And so you're studying character and leadership, and you're looking specifically at responsibility and conduct in the professions. So I know you're all saying, what is she talking about? We look at what leadership and ethics looks like across a variety of career fields to give you kind of a preview of what that may look like in the career field that you're specifically interested in. We bring in a lot of guest speakers from across all different professions to talk to you about ethical dilemmas that they have faced, about leadership challenges, and what that looks like in their individual career field. So it really gives you a sense of some behind the scenes in those areas that you're interested in, the very career field you may end up choosing. So we spend a lot of time working through projects, working through activities, meeting with guest speakers. So you have the ability to build out those understandings. Part of that too that we bring in, and Dr. Fringer and her team as well, we make sure that you are also connecting with the folks across campus in the specific fields of academia that you're interested in. So there's a lot that goes into this, and wrapping up what you've studied in the classroom in political science and what you've studied in the classroom with me with character and leadership, we take you to DC. And we're meeting with different folks in DC that are talking to you about the intersection of politics and policy and leadership and industry and these ethical conundrums that they may have faced. So you're getting a real world front seat view of what you've been learning about in your classroom for the prior 4 weeks and seeing it in action. You have meetings with folks that, frankly, I never had meetings with some of the folks that we visit in DC until I started working at the Lott Leadership Institute. Um, People really are very generous with their time and their skills and their talents. And they love the students that we have that come through the Lott Rising 12th grade program and are very generous with their time and with the explanations and the information that they share with our students. So we're able to schedule some really awesome opportunities for y'all to meet people. Now, these both of these classes are graded, and we go through the syllabus. You know from day one exactly what the expectations are, what your assignments are going to be. There's nothing that's a secret. So because these grades do go on your college transcript, we want to make sure that we have the safety parameters in place and you have all the tools for success. Another thing I want to say to you is we've known and data shows generally the first semester that students have in their undergraduate career, so their first semester of college, generally is one of the times that students' grades may be the lowest. Well, guess what? If your first semester of college is through Lott Rising 12, you have a lot of phenomenal support, not only at the Lott Leadership Institute, but also with Dr. Fringer's team. So there are a lot of safety measures in place for that whole situation of the first semester of college being a little difficult. you have every opportunity for a lot of really great support to totally mess up that data with how great you have the ability to do. So we're really excited that you're going to be with us. You will see more me than Miss Caitlin throughout this program just because you're in the classroom with me. But Miss Caitlin is the DC planning extraordinaire. So when you start thinking about DC and all of the really cool stuff that I think we have a museum that's open this year that wasn't open last year. And so there's some really cool stuff that happens on the DC trip that Miss Caitlin is going to get you a front row seat for. So we're both really excited to work through this process with you. Miss Caitlin, do you want to add anything?
Sure. So the Washington, D.C. trip here, you'll see that it's leadership in context. So what you're learning in the classroom, it's my job to bring that in, that real world experience to you so you can put all the puzzle pieces together. And it's a lot of walking. So, as you know, DC is very, very big. We do not take any Ubers. We do not bike. We do not lime scooter. We walk and we metro. So, it's a very fun experience just getting to see DC and being right in the center of it and taking it all in. And you really get to work on your professional self-presentation. So in that Little 199 classroom, you're learning about an elevator pitch. You're learning how to present yourself because sometimes when you're meeting these very high-profile people, you get a little nervous, and that's totally okay. But in Dr. Jones's class, she's teaching you how to present yourself professionally. So when you get that opportunity, you're ready to go. And so that comes through networking and meeting with these individuals. And you'll never know who you get to see on the DC trip because there's always some fun surprises that even I don't even know because DC is so fast paced, it's always changing. And our trips are always some of the most beneficial trips to our students, just getting the opportunity to see these people because a lot of times these people are people that your parents may have never dreamed of getting to meet, and you get the opportunity to do that here in this program.
All right. So as we go, don't hesitate to drop questions in the chat. I'll just reiterate that. So that's a little bit of the magic, just a little snapshot of the kinds of things that you can expect from the academics and the DC portion of the programming. I'm going to now turn it over to Ms. Ari, and she's going to speak a little bit about residential life. Again, we're not going to go into all the weeds because, at this point, we just want to give you an overview of what to expect so that you understand that we're going to feed you, that you're not going to get lost on campus. You're not going to wander off into the oblivion of Mississippi and be lost forever. That we'll make sure you have a good time and that it'll be beneficial. But we're not going to go into lots and lots of detail here. I will add that Miss Ari has worked over the last few years to really develop a full co-curriculum that complements the work that the Lott Institute does with you. So she can describe a little bit of that, but the idea is to develop you holistically as a person and in the context of our larger summer college community. Those of you here in July will probably do a lot of international cultural things just because we have some other programs doing that kind of stuff. Those of you here in June, you'll be influenced by the other mix of programs that we have that have to do with education and all kinds of other great things, health, etc., engineering. So I'm going to let Ms. Ari speak a little bit to what she does in the other part of your day and in the weekends.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ari, and you will see me almost every day when you are on campus. So before anything, I think it's important to let you know that this is a program that is 100% residential, and it is required for you to be with us from the very beginning of the program to the very end of the program. So this requires a little bit of probably calendar tweaking and scheduling. So we have the two different sessions. The first session starts on May 24th and goes until June 25th. And the second session starts on June 21st and it goes until July 23rd. So you probably will see a couple of days for a day probably the second cohort that you will interact for a little bit, but these are completely two different sessions, and if you choose you have to make up your mind to choose only one of those. So we've been trying really hard for this program to be a holistic approach to college. So what we're trying to do is not only give you the opportunity to have all these two amazing classes with college professors, but also for you to experience what it is to be a college student living on campus. So you will have a lot of different activities. Your days are packed with a lot of different things. If you're not in class, you will be working in teams, in groups to work on projects. If you are not doing that, you will probably have an event going on. It could be with the Lott Leadership Institute, or it could be on our side as well. Of course, you will have time for lunch. We normally break at noon. And of course, in the afternoons, you will have a lot of different activities. The activities that we do go from academic, and this means that probably we have a college fair and we invite people over for you to have the chance to talk to the representatives of the different departments and majors and minors. So you have a direct contact with them, ask questions. But it could also be an event where graduate students come and show you what research they are doing. Maybe pick your interest in doing some research yourself when you are undergraduate students. But other days, it could be that we have a pickleball tournament. Other days we can have a party, or other days we just walk down to the square and have ice cream and come back. But every single day you have activities going on. And of course, your classes go from 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 p.m. with a lunch break. Weekends are also jam-packed. So during those weekends is whenever you have some time for yourself, do laundry and probably sleeping for a little bit, but we also have a lot of different activities happening, fun activities, and also it is the time for you to probably sit down with your team members and work on a project. So we also have the church works. If you decide that you want to go for church during the weekend, we also offer that opportunity. But summarizing your everyday life, you will have a lot of different activities during the whole month. The next, please. So very briefly, where are you gonna live? So you will live in a contemporary house residence hall, and this means that at contemporary residence hall is you will have your own room, and you will share it with another person. Probably you're asking, can I request my roommate? No, you cannot request your roommate. We're trying to give you the closest experience to college, and this is the closest. You don't pick normally your roommate, you are assigned someone. It's important for us to know a little bit of you, and we will send you some questionnaires, and we try to pair you with someone that you are compatible. But in general, you cannot share your, you cannot pick the person you're gonna share your room with. There is a laundry room, and the building, we live in a building where most of our programs, or most of the students participating in our programs, live. You will have a meal plan, and that means that you will have the chance to go to the different to the two main restaurants on campus, the Rebel Market and the Dish. But you also have other type of meal plan that you will be able to use on campus. And you will have some events that have some cater food. So we will take care of your dining situation. You will also be pair up with students who are also here on campus doing or studying other tracks besides your program. You're all the same age, and we put you together in communities. So You don't only get to know the people in your group, in the Lott cohort, but you get to know students that are here to do research, students who are learning another language, or students who are here to do to study something about education, or students who are taking other different classes. So it is a great community, and you are part of that community. And with your community and your community leaders, you do a lot of different activities every day. Your community leaders are the supervision that we provide. They are undergraduate students and graduate students who are very highly trained, and they are authorized adults to be around and run all the fun activities. And also, if you have any questions, they will be the ones that will be helping you all this during all this experience. And the next slide, it gives you an example of how your day will look like from Monday through Friday. This is not very specific. You will receive your schedule once you are accepted, and you will know exactly where to go and what time you will have classes and what other activities you will have. We have a co-curriculum calendar that you will receive months in advance or a month in advance, so you know the type of activities that we have for you. And I think that I hope this summarizes or gives you a very short glimpse of what is expected in the residence side of this program. But if you have any question, please feel free to drop it in the chat and I will respond to your questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ari. I will add, if some of you are thinking, oh, some of those other programs, they sound interesting. What if I don't get into the Lott Institute? Could I do those things? That application is all contained. The other programs are selective too, so might need to add some materials to your file, but just know that those could be options for you if this doesn't go the way you hope it will. And just know too that you will benefit from being in the community with these arts students, these students in the sciences, whatever. You will have a very rich community as part of summer college and as part of the Lott Leadership Institute. There's a lot of cross-pollination. All right. So now the stuff that you really, really need to know about the application process. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Deloach. He will talk about what you need to know because, again, the Lott Leadership Institute is asking a lot of you. That's because the committee needs a lot of information to make an important decision. We have just a few spots and we have a lot of applicants every year. We want to make sure that the committee has every bit of information they need. And I will let them speak a little bit at the end about what kinds of things they might be looking for on the committee and how they make that decision, because I know that's on your minds. So, Mr. Deloach, you want to talk about the application process?
Yeah, sure. So first off, let me just get started by, again, congratulating all of you on your nomination to the Lott Leadership Institute for Rising 12th Graders. That is such an amazing accomplishment. But we're going to get started here with the application process. So I'm first going to talk about eligibility. So to be in the Lot 12 program, you have to be eligible for dual enrollment to the University of Mississippi because you are receiving college credits at the end of the day. So you've all made the first one. You're a current 11th grader. You need to have a minimum 3.0 grade point average. That is on an unweighted 4.0 scale. You need to be in good academic standing at your school and good disciplinary standing at your school. But my assumption is you wouldn't have been nominated if you were not in good standing either way. And you also need your approval by your school counselor and principal. All right, so those are the main criteria for dual enrollment admissions at the University of Mississippi. All right, the application process. So there are 4 points to the full out process. We're going to focus primarily on just on process number 1. So over here on the left side in the dark blue, the nomination application part. But there's some others that you can see that continue the process after the cohorts have been announced. But focusing on number 1, nomination application, first up, be nominated. You've already been nominated, so you can check that off your list. Next, you need to apply to the program. All right. This is submitting your application, submitting your reference materials, your video essay, all sorts of things. And we'll cover all that in a little bit more detail in just a little bit. And all of that is due December 12th. So just a little bit more than a month away. So if you get started now, you've got plenty of time to kind of get all these materials in. I repeat, I do not recommend waiting until the last minute to get started because you're going to be depending on other people to mark things off on your checklist that we'll talk about in just a little bit. And then you're going to be waiting for a decision from the selection committee once everyone's turned in their materials, the deadline has passed. We have a selection committee with the Lott Institute that is going to review all these materials. You want to make certain they're the best. And then you can see, then you would move, once you receive the announcement, then here's all the next stages, the cohort announcement. Then we got to get you to do the application, and then there's summer prep materials. All right. So accepting your nomination. Many of you have already done this. Some of you on the call may not have. So if the invitation to join this info session, you were nominated, and you should have received an email to accept your nomination. You have the option to accept or decline. We are very hopeful that you are planning to accept your nomination following this info session. And then once you accept, you're going to get details on how to get started with your application process. So once you accept, you'll get another email saying, here's what you got to do now. All right. So you need to do that as soon as possible. If you are missing that email, you can always email precollege@olemiss.edu. One of my colleagues will drop that in the chat. And you can just say, hey, can you resend that nomination email again? Or you can say, hey, I accept my nomination. Send me the next steps, please. And we'll get it started either way. All right. So next phase of this, we're going to complete your application checklist. So that's going to get started. The first part of this is completing the getting started form for 12th grade Lott. That's going to get you to set up your My School app account. That is our enrollment management system that manages your entire application process, the committee processes, and from here on out. Okay. Then you're going to complete those applications, submit all your materials. Again, deadline is December 12th. All right. So we're going to go over your checklist here. We're going to talk about the application, paperwork, and video. And pieces of this, I'm going to go over in a little bit greater detail when I get to more of a digital demo here in a few minutes. All right, but some of the big kickers here is you've got to complete the All Programs application. This is an application that is shared by all of our programs here in pre-college programs, including Lot 12. So this is going to cover most of your general information, household information, some extra academic details, what have you. You're going to want to submit then there's going to be the Lot 12 supplemental application. This is also going to include your writing prompts and ask you questions specific to the Lot 12 program. This is also going to be where you select which session that you want to join, whether it is the first session in June or the second session in July. You can't choose either, so you have to figure out which works best. And changing sessions, not so easy. We can't do it. Once you're locked in, you're locked in. So check your calendars, check with your parents, figure out those calendars before you click submit on that supplemental app. Okay. So high school transcript. So you're going to request from your guidance counselor at your school to get your transcript. So everything credit-wise that you have, they're going to want that. That's going to be an online request. We'll cover that in a little bit. There's going to be 2 online recommendations. That's going to be from a teacher, administrator, a coach, what have you, someone that knows you really well. And, later, Dr. Jones will speak a little bit more of what the committee is looking for in those recommendations a little bit later. There's also a video essay component, and I'll talk about that in just a sec. Then there's going to be a live session participation for Lot 12 applicants. The live session is a two-component session. There's a discussion portion and a writing sample that you'll complete in the middle of the session, and you will upload soon after completing that session. We do have two scheduled dates available, and we'll send out RSVP links for you to sign up for one of those sessions a little bit later as we get kind of closer. But you can go ahead and kind of save the date, if you will. December 1st and December 3rd, both at 6:30 to 7:30. And then there's going to be a third session that's going to be available more than likely definitely after the deadline, I'm sure. That date has not been determined just yet. All right. And again, the application, paperwork, and video, these are all due December 12th. All right. So we're going to talk about some specific highlights and tips with the checklist. My first major tip that I would like to tell everyone is keep a check on your junk or spam folders for important emails. A lot of our email clients today love to take emails even from a university or school or what have you, which is that you need, and just sends it to your junk or spam folder. Okay. My biggest piece of advice, and something that we try to reiterate throughout the process, is to add our emails to your safe senders list in your email client. And I'll show you those emails a little bit later, because you don't want to be missing out on emails, especially anything coming from the system. Those are somehow, some email clients are going to send that straight to junk or spam. Also, something to remember is school emails. So one thing that if you're using like a school affiliated email from your high school, those emails do not like to work with our systems or receive important information from our systems. There are typically security settings on those school emails that prevent external emails from any source, whether it be a university or another site. They're there to protect you, but they do block important information that you're expecting though. So as an example, if your parent received your nomination email and you should have also received it at your email, likely your school email was used and it blocked it, unfortunately. At least you got it in one other way. If you're ever curious, you can simply email us at precollege@olemiss.edu to just double check things. All right, so enough with the email part. So think about transcripts and online recommendations. So before you kind of get really started, you get into the system, you need to collect a couple things. Your counselor's name, their email address, and whoever your references are, whether that's a teacher, administrator, coach, getting their name and email address. All right, because you're going to need to submit those into your checklist. I highly recommend submitting this information first. Once you get into your checklist and you get access to these two items, or three items actually, is what this will wind up being, submit these first. Why? Because you're going to be waiting on those three individuals to submit materials on your behalf. And you don't want to wait till the day before the deadline to submit this information, and they need to return this within 24 hours. It's likely, I've seen it happen where it actually comes through, which is fantastic, but more times than not, it doesn't always work out that way. So submit their information first so they can go ahead and get started. The next piece of advice here is let your counselor and your references know to expect an email. This is a good future career advice as well when you're looking for jobs or completing scholarship essays or applications to different colleges and universities that require references, or even special programs for that matter. Follow up with your counselor and references to first ask them, one, can they serve as your reference? That's an important one. If they don't feel comfortable, you don't want to be using them. Two, they know to expect something. In this case, they're expecting an email from our office, with an online link to get started, whether it's uploading your transcripts or uploading or entering your recommendation information. And then follow up with them. Your checklist is going to let you know when they've completed it. So just follow up with them until they've completed it, because you don't want to assume they did and it wasn't marked off. You don't want to be surprised at the end. All right. Moving to the written and video essay. So the written essay, those prompts are in your supplemental application, and I'll show those in just a little bit here. But enter your response as if they were an essay. Use proper grammar, structure, what have you. Don't text it like you were using your phone or device. Showcase what your English teachers taught you in class. Do them proud. As far as your video essay, don't overthink this part particularly. Do well at it, but don't overthink it in terms of you have to have the best produced video out there. There's going to be a prompt that you download. There's going to be some brief instructions available in the checklist, and I'll show you how to access that. They're going to tell you exactly, it's going to give you the prompt. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. And at the end, when you're done, you're going to save that file as an MP4 file, because that's the best file type that most people can access on their device. So especially our committee, that's the important ones that need to be able to access these files. But when I tell you don't overthink it, your video can simply be you doing a self-Zoom meeting with yourself and just talking out your prompt, talking out your response to that prompt, and just saying, this is me, this is, what I'm about, this is my, my answer to this. Or you can get someone to record you on a cell phone. You're not needing a special camera, your phone, your computer, webcam, all of that works. Also, be authentic. Be true to yourself. The committee is not looking for the best editing or the best acting skills out there. We're not going for any Emmys out there. So, just be authentic is the best piece of advice I can give you. All right. So with all that said, we're going to jump into the My School app demo here. I'm going to kind of go through some different points. So give me just a moment as I transition to the next screen here. All right. I think this is it. All right. Can I get confirmation that we are on the checklist? Okay, perfect. So before we get into this stage here, which is going to be your login here. So we're going to first start with the Getting Started form. So after you've accepted your nomination, you should receive a link that has the 2026 Lot 12 Getting Started form. This is here to help you get your account set up with our My School app and let us know that you want this checklist for Lot 12. So here's some details here. Add these emails here, umprecollege@myschoolapp.com and precollege@olemiss.edu to your safe senders list. Those are the two emails that I was talking about. This top email is our system email from our My School app that our system will send emails from, and precollege@olemiss.edu is where all the emails are going to be coming from. Okay, so just keep those available. Again, this type of information is all throughout our systems, just so it reminds you. All right. So once you get into here, you're going to just complete your information here best you can. Back to that school affiliated email note. That's like, this is an important note here. It's out here loud. Use a personal email account because this is the email that's going to be used to set up your My School app account. You can create free email accounts through Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, iCloud, what have you. There's plenty of providers out there that you can use. You're going to enter your cell phone number in here, just so if there's a reason that need to be contacting regarding your application or program updates. That email also doesn't, we'll use in tandem with email just to get things out there. All right. Then you're going to enter your academic information, which is 25, 26. and grade level, which is 11th grade. The only option there should be for this program in particular. Then you're going to just say, I'm not a robot. And that's going to be an important part. Then you're going to click submit. I didn't enter in everything, so I'm not going to be able to go to that page. But after that, you should get this email here. This email is thanking you for submitting. It's kind of telling you how to that you're going to need to wait a little bit because that form's got to be processed by my team in enrollments here in pre-college. So your enrollment coordinator, Ms. Kathy Thompson, is going to be your point person for the Lot 12 program. She's got to process it. If you submit it in the middle of the day, she'll be able to process it that same day usually. But if you're, say, doing it tonight, she's got to wait till first thing in the morning to do it. So after that, the next email you'll get is this one. All right. So this is basically saying a portal has been created for you, or an account rather, for My School app using this email address. And the reason why I point this out, this will be your email address. This is my test user here that I'm currently in. So whatever your email, insert that there. Whatever you put here is what that account is connected to. So you're just going to accept the invitation. All right. And then it's going to take you through the account setup pieces. You'll probably receive another email to confirm that that email is correct, and then set up multi-factor authentication. If this button doesn't work, this link will. If you'll notice, this has the email embedded into it. This will be unique to every user. So if you're using a different Gmail account than what I'm using, which you will be, it'll just have that there, right? And again, if you don't receive this email within at least 24, maybe 48 hours, give us a little bit of time, depending on how much is coming in. Just give us, send Miss Kathy an email saying, hey, I have not received this yet. Or check your junk or spam because maybe it went to junk or spam because you didn't add us to your safe senders list. There's multiple ways to just double check. Maybe you entered your email wrong. Who knows? So many things to check. You can always, always reach out to us if you need any assistance. All right. So once you get that set up, you're going to get into your portal. All right. You're going to see your name. Please note this should say current year and current grade. So don't worry too much about that part. Saying entering. System limitation is what that is. And you're going to start here with the admissions progress. All right. So a couple key things is going to be your checklist module here. And then over here on your right is going to be your troubleshooting notes here, and basically our information should you need any assistance. So over here, if you're having any trouble with document uploads, recommendation forms, these are some common things that we've seen over the last couple of years of using this system that are important to let people know about. And then you've got our contact information should you need us. So when you first log in here, you're going to get to your checklist. You're only going to see this first item here. This is the Lott Program Admissions Overview, or Lott Program and Admissions Overview. Basically, it's recapping essentially everything that we've covered in the info session to a degree, the application process, what are some general expectations, what have you. And you're just basically going to acknowledge that you've read this and understand what is being said, and you're going to submit that. Once you submit it, everything else opens up. So from the all programs application, supplemental app, all the way down to a file review based on some of these details, and more details will be added to this for the live writing session a little bit later. All right. So let's go ahead and just look at each thing piece by piece. So good detail here. So the all programs application. Again, this is a general application shared by all of our programs. And you're going to see this dialog box and select all programs application 2526. It's the only option. And you can see all of our programs, including Lott Leadership Institute for high school students, as one of our programs covered here. So you're going to enter basic information from student information, the household information. There's going to be academic information, I'm going to point something out here so you so hopefully it doesn't hang you up here. But for school name, so our system has a few schools that we have worked with in the past that have made it onto this list. Not every school is represented because this list would be insanely long if it was. So if your school does not appear on this list, the second option here, or under select an option, is add a school name that is not on the list. So you just click this, the other field pops up, you can enter your school right there and just type that out and you're good. Don't panic that your school is not on the list. It just needs to be typed out, that's all. And then you're going to fill out some other details here. Something I do want to point out for everyone here, since this is shared by all of our programs, these are optional fields. But for Lot 12, we really need you to fill this part out because this is is critical. So what you can for your GPA, just enter that in here. Your credit range, if you can. But the big thing here is the ACT or SAT score report. If you have this available, please go ahead and add it here. If you haven't taken the ACT yet or SAT, don't worry. You don't have it to submit. You don't have to submit it. But if you do have it, go ahead and submit it. All right. There's also permissions here, additional information that you can enter here as well. Let us know how you heard about us and everything, that sort of thing. Just to say, this application is fairly lengthy. So you notice that there's not a save and continue down here. Not sure why that is. But at any point that you just need to take a break from the application, just click somewhere out here in the gray space here and click My Application. All right. This is changed from start to continue, and you can just click back here to click continue. The reason why I say that is don't feel like you need to complete this in one complete session. Some people do it, but if you're like, needing extra time to do it, just click out and decide. It'll save it automatically and click out of it. You can always revisit it, in the next hour or the next day or what have you. What we don't want you to do is you're not fully finished, you accidentally submit it, our team processes it, and then you've done locked yourself out from resubmitting it or from adding or changing it. We can open it back up for you, but you're going to lose all your progress. So just give it a quick review before you're ready to click submit. And once you've reviewed it, confirm, click submit. All right. So, all right. Then you're going to go do the supplemental application. And just as a heads up, I got to ask this question earlier. These are in no particular order. So you can, honestly, you're going to wind up probably doing these three here that I'm going to cover in a little bit, request, transcript, and references, and then go back and do these. So no particular order is needed here. But we're going to focus on the supplemental application right now. So you're going to have your supplemental application. This is going to be your name and information that appears here. And you're going to select your session. You're going to choose first session or June session or July session or second session, whichever name you want to use for that. Again, you're locking in your choice at this point. Once you click submit on this form, you lock it in. There's no changes. So confirm your schedules before submitting this form. All right. Then you're going to do your awards and honors, any community service, additional activities. And here is your essay questions. Again, make certain your grammar, punctuation, and spelling is good here. Make your English teachers proud. Again, okay? So again, this is just like the application. If you're not ready to submit, just click off here to the side. It'll save your progress and just click My Application to go back to the beginning point of your checklist. And again, see how it'll brings you back to continue. All right. So video essay. So you're going to download the video prompt, which is this link, and then you can upload it at this link. So I'm going to download this And then I've already got it opened up here. Just a simple prompt here with some brief instructions. Your video should be no more than 3 to 5 minutes long. And again, this is, again, be your authentic self with this. All right. And then for as far as uploading it, you're just going to click this link here. It's going to take you outside of My School app because My School app cannot accept large videos, which these will wind up being in terms of size, not necessarily length. So you're going to upload it here. Again, pointing out MP4 is the video file type that we're preferring. And you're going to enter your name, email, and you're going to upload it by selecting a file down here. And you'll submit that. As a note, that since that's outside the system, this will not automatically update like it does here. Mainly because we have to manually mark this in your checklist. So give us a few days to get that process for you. Make certain it works and everything. Okay, so requesting a transcript. This is where you're going to need your counselor's information. You're just going to click start. Don't worry about the school part not popping up here. Just enter your school's information here. So I'm going to enter in a school, my test school here. And this is going to be your counselor's email here. You can enter a comment. You can be a little bit more, explain a little bit more. Click send. That's going to send an email request to your counselor. If you need, say you got this email wrong, you use gmail.edu versus .com, or something didn't come through, you can always resend by clicking here. Resend it again so it pops up at the top of their inbox. Or you can click here and use a different email. So it opens this back up. All right. Fairly straightforward on that. Same way with your references. You're going to enter your reference's name, their email, any additional comments. So they're going to get these details. There's going to be a link in here that gets sent to them so they can complete your online reference form. You'll send that to them. All right. And it will also provide the same option to resend requests. We just did not submit in this case. So you'll be able to do the same exact thing to resend a reference check. Okay. You'll do that 2 times. Once you've completed all these top items here, our office will mainly review your files, make certain everything's complete. We'll communicate back and forth with you, make certain everything's kind of taken care of. And we'll check this off and you'll get an email saying this will all be done. And then the part that is not material based is going to be your live writing session. We were talking about this earlier. There's 2 sessions on the calendar for December 1 and December 3 in the evening that you'll participate in. You'll basically log back in here when you're done with the writing prompt, and you'll just upload your file directly into the system by clicking attach file here and then clicking save. All right. So let's see. All right. And so basically, once all that's completed, our selection committee will review all of these materials, and then they will deliver decisions a little bit later, probably into the new year, I imagine. And once that's ready, this decision tab will actually have a decision made. You'll also receive an email, so don't worry about having to keep checking back and forth. We'll also email you to let you know what the decision is. All right. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything, Dr. Franker?
No, you covered a lot of ground there. That was great. Thank you so much, Mr. Deloach. And I will add, those of you who are wondering about those writing sessions and already starting to look at dates, we do have a couple other dates that will be available in November. So just keep a lookout. We'll be sending an email out by the end of this week with an RSVP for those sessions. We just had to get a critical mass of committee members available because those live writing sessions are an intense investment of time on the part of our staff because what we do is we give you a prompt, you write there in front of us on the screen, and then we get into breakout groups of small, just like, 4 or 5 students to talk with different committee members as well as pre-college office members about those prompts and your responses to them. So it's really fun. It's kind of a preview for us of what you might be like on campus and in a classroom discussion. And it's a preview for you of what it might be like to work with these peers, with us. It's a good thing all around, but it does take a lot of coordination. So check your emails and make sure that you line up and get a spot and RSVP as fast as you can so that you get your preferred date for those things, okay? And there will be more information in the email about what to expect time-wise and all that stuff. So thank you, Mr. Deloach. I can't think of anything else on the application end other than don't wait. But I will ask Dr. Jones to speak a little here at the end, just about, if I'm a student, I'm looking at that and I'm going, oh, that's a lot of information I'm going to have to give. What are y'all doing with all that information? What is the committee going to be looking for as they're reviewing these materials?
Sure. So what the committee is looking at is, number one, they want to know you. So when you start thinking about your essays, the written and the recorded ones, we're really looking to learn about you, to meet you. And that's our first opportunity to do that, to really hear who you are. That's your opportunity to tell us about yourself. So when you sit down to write those or record those, don't think, what would the committee want me to say? What do they want to hear from me? What we really want to hear from you is your authentic answer so we can get to know you. When we start looking at recommendations, you need to make sure that you are very intentional about who you ask to do your recommendations. Make sure it's someone that knows you, likes you, and loves you. I think one of the best people that students can pick to be a recommender is someone that has seen them inside and outside of the classroom. So if you have someone that is a teacher, that maybe they were your teacher last year, but this year they're your student council advisor or your beta club advisor, or maybe they were a teacher last year and now they're a coach for you this year. They really have a great vantage point because they can talk about you not only academically, but also what you look like in high stress situations or a deadline situation or a team situation. So being able to pick your recommenders that way. If somebody in if your parents have a great friendship with someone who is a well-known public figure, but that they don't know you very well, do not pick them to be your recommender. Those generally with your recommendations, we are looking to see and learn things about you that maybe we wouldn't otherwise. So that's really, really important. Frankly, if I know Senator Lott, if your parents or grandparents know Senator Lott, but he doesn't know you, don't ask him to write a letter of recommendation because he's not going to tell us or give us the insight that the committee needs in order to make the assessment. The other thing with the committee, we don't want these classrooms to be an echo chamber where everyone's favorite ice cream is vanilla ice cream with the rainbow sprinkles. We want folks with chocolate ice cream and mango ice cream and s'more toppings and all kinds of stuff. We want folks that are from across the country, or even internationally, as we've had in some years past, which really makes it fun to get the different perspectives and great conversation going in the classrooms. We want students from different geographic locations, different backgrounds, different life experiences, different skills and talents, because you bring a wealth of personal experience to the classroom that really informs the activities that we're able to do and the conversations we're able to have, and really the way you and your classmates in your cohort can produce and work through information. So all of that is really, really important to us. We don't want every single senior class or junior class president. We want to make sure that we really have a diverse and unique group of students that are joining each cohort. because that's what makes it such a beautiful experience. Um, Beyond that, Miss Caitlin, do you have anything that you want to add?
Absolutely. The last thing that I want to note is that the academics of this program are very rigorous. They're college credit, and so if you're here because your parents are making you, and if you're here for a resume booster, you may want to reconsider this because this program is very strenuous, and your professors are gonna push you. They're gonna push you to an academic standard that you probably have not been before because these are college classes. These follow you whether you go to the University of Mississippi or whether you go somewhere else, they're going to follow you. So please keep that in mind as you're going through your application process, as you're deciding if this is for you. Please remember that these are academically rigorous college level classes.
Thank you for that reminder, Miss Caitlin. And I will add these several thoughts, and I'm going to answer some questions that are in the chat. One is this. I to echo what Miss Caitlin is saying and be very specific about certain things. I have been teaching college since 2001. I have seen a trend in recent years towards students thinking that like deadlines, for example, are kind of negotiable. Like, I was having trouble last night. I got worried about the assignment, so I didn't get it done, but it's going to be okay if I turned it in late, right? No. This program is a fast-paced program. And as you heard Dr. Jones say earlier, we'll help you. We have a success coach. Our professors have office hours. You can go see them and talk to them. I'm having trouble. I just can't quite get this right the way I want it. We are always here for you. But being late and being late repeatedly is not going to be an option. This is college. This is 1 month of class. It's intense. So if you're the kind of person who likes to cut yourself some slack, and just keep pushing things down the line, again, you might need to rethink that habit if you're going to do this. And if you're not sure you can stick with the program and keep up with things, definitely this might not be for you. So do be aware, we're going to hold you accountable. Second thing I'll say is this: you're going to have an opportunity to write for this. You're going to write in the program application just a few brief kind of essay questions. They're really like short answer questions. We want to see you. You heard Dr. Jones use the word authentic. We want to see you, not your AI buddy. And again, I said I've been teaching a long time. All of us teach college. We know AI and what it looks like, even if you try to dress it up a little bit. If we even have a whiff of, I don't think this person did this work themselves, the committee is automatically going to be less interested in you, right? I promise you, each one of you is a much more interesting person, a much more unique thinker than anything that AI can do in answer to these questions. So please just be yourself, show us who you are authentically, and let the committee judge whether you really belong in this program, because the AI isn't coming here. It's you. And so you really want to show what you can do, what you're capable of, and then feel like I was chosen because I did this. And I'm ready for this, and I want to be there myself in the classroom. So I just really encourage you to have integrity, and to be yourself and not be afraid to do that. You are good enough. If you were nominated, you're definitely good enough. Some questions that we had in the chat. So somebody asked about whether the live session was required. It is required, and it weighs just as heavily as any other part of the process. We understand not everyone's going to be the loudest voice in the room, and you don't need to be to shine. Our facilitators are really good at drawing out everybody. I'm a little bit of an introvert, definitely was when I was your age. I would hang back and kind of see how things were going. That's okay. You don't need to say all the things, but you will need to speak a little bit in those live writing sessions. And we do understand we're seeing you improvise. And that's important because one of the things you're going to be learning to do in this program is become a better improviser. How do you show up in DC and have spontaneous conversations with people in a way that represents yourself well? We will help you hone those skills. But if you come in with a foundational kind of ability, that's useful. So that's one of the things the committee is going to be thinking about in those live sessions. So they are very important. Someone else asked about scholarships. This program is not interested in majors so much, where you are just in high school. We recognize some of you are going to go medicine, engineering, creative writing, public policy, sure, but lots of different programs. And so everyone who does this program gets some scholarship. That I can tell you that the cost you pay, the posted cost on the website, is nothing close to what it costs for you to do this. But the university and the Lott Institute share that cost because we believe deeply in investing as a public institution in service to our nation and to our region. And so you will receive, anyone who's admitted, a scholarship that covers a good portion of your costs. And then that remaining cost is up to you to cover. If you do have some need of a financial assistance, and we've had that happen, we had a student a couple of years ago whose house burned down and they needed financial assistance, then you can let our office know and we'll work with you, okay, and figure that out. All right. Any other questions for us? The very substantive session. I know we had some other questions in the chat. Some came to me privately, some came in the chat just for general. But if you do have further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach out to precollege@olemmiss.edu, and if it's something that we can answer, we'll answer it. If it's something that Lott Institute needs to answer, we'll forward it on to them and they will answer. We are always right here for you because we want you to get everything you need. And with that, there are no other questions. I will say, just a reminder, don't wait. Go in, as Mr. Deloach suggested, you can go in right now. Look through the application. You don't need to do it all at once. And just start kind of weeding through what kind of information do I need to gather? Do I actually know my parents' cell numbers or do I need to look those up? Those kinds of things. Make sure that you get all your information and plan ahead so you're not panicking the day before, because I can tell you that will not go well. All right. Good luck to all of you. Thank you for being here tonight, and we will be in touch soon. Keep an eye on email for those RSVPs to the writing sessions.